Alrighty. Well, with everyone starting to join in on reading stories to the kids, I figured I might jump on this myself because I've been wanting to do something with this Stephen Moffat short story he did we'll do that. So, gather the kids around. We got something for you about the Doctor. Yeah, sort of. It was something Stephen Moffat whipped up called The Terror of the Umpty. Yeah. The reeking flesh mass was silent for a moment before twisting and stretching its upper frontal skin lumps into a new configuration. Carpanion's visual circuits processed and pattern matched the configuration within 2 nanoseconds. Apparently the human was smiling. Carpanion considered for a moment and elected not to retaliate. "Do you hear me?" emitted the human from its flapped aperture. "Do you understand? Do you understand what I'm saying?" The encoded sound system was accompanied by a fresh row of smells also emanating from the aperture. Carpanion's sensory filter began processing the new odors, while its tactical monitor noted that they were unlikely to be directly significant to the human's communication. The light spray of moisture was similarly dismissed. "I'll be back tomorrow morning. Dr. Johnson and Dr. Ahmed will be here too. Do you remember them?" "No explicit threat detected," noted the tactical monitor, while the strategic oversight junction added that an implied, non-explicit threat was still possible. But then the strategic oversight junction was like that. "Beef and onions," advised the sensory filter. Carpanion scanned the habitation box again, but there was no new information of tactical value. There was the little bed, which he had to pretend to sleep in, the window, which was barred, and the door, which was open at the moment. His scan ended on the human. Dr. Petrie offered a context-activated memory bubble, who was sitting on a chair by the bed and clearly expecting a reply. Carpanion sifted among the options presented by his various diplomatic interface modules and selected appropriately. "Yes," he said, "I received and understood your communication, and I remembered Dr. Johnson and Dr. Ahmed. I shall destroy your world and all who breed here in fire and anguish. I hope you enjoyed your beef and onions." "I'll be seeing you then," said Dr. Petrie, and rose to go. "I shall eviscerate you at the first opportunity," said Carpanion. "Good night." As Dr. Petrie moved to the door, the tactical monitor advised, "Escape must be initiated in 2.7 hours in full darkness." The strategic oversight junction further advised, "All humans in the installation should be destroyed." Try that again. The strategic oversight junction further advised, "All humans in the installation should be destroyed before departure. The human designated as Dr. Petrie is the priority target." The sensory filter noted, "The sweat gland emissions from the human designated as Dr. Petrie reveals a significant adrenal content. This indicates Dr. Petrie has a fear region in the upper quartile." "And a big bottom," added another voice. If Carpanion could have frowned, he would have. Where did that come from? He did a quick internal scan, but couldn't source the unexpected data stream. "I mean, you wouldn't expect it from the front, but then he turns around and boom! Identify untagged data stream," demanded Carpanion. "I mean, the size of that thing could take your eye out." "Identify untagged data stream," repeated Carpanion. "No untagged data stream detected," replied the internal data relay monitor. Carpanion considered for a moment. The additional stress of maintaining his holographic shell, currently projecting an image of a 12-year-old boy called David, could conceivably be causing glitches in the logic junctions. Perhaps it was no more than that. A temporary shutdown would fix the problem, and in any event, it would be wise to refresh his systems before the escape. For appearance's sake, Carpanion swung his legs around so that he could lie down on the bed and switched his hologram eyes to the closed position. As he lay there, he listened to his internal relays shutting down one by one. Tactical monitor going offline. Strategic oversight junction going offline. Sensory filter entering sleep mode. Internal delay on alert mode only. For a moment, there was only the ticking darkness. "No, not fam." Carpanion awoke. 2.7 hours had passed according to his chrono register. He swiveled his head to look at the window and confirm that darkness had fallen. Then got up to the bed and checked his hologram status in the mirror. The shell was holding. He waited for a moment, allowing his systems to come online. As usual, the tactical monitor was first. "Recommendation: human casualties to be avoided during escape." Carpanion noted his hologram shell was frowning in the mirror, which was odd because he didn't know it could do that. "Sorry, could you repeat your recommendation? This wasn't meant to be read out loud. "Sorry, could you repeat your last recommendation?" Human casualties to be avoided during escape, repeated the tactical monitor. In the mirror, the hologram shell was looking positively bewildered, which was definitely a new feature. Why? Asked Companion. New protocol, replied the tactical monitor. Cruelty and cowardice to be avoided. Destruction of humans within this installation, now designated as cruel and cowardly. What new protocol? Demanded Companion. Oops, sorry, that was me. It was the voice again. The untagged data stream. But where was it coming from? I got bored, you see, the voice continued. Thought I'd do a bit of housekeeping long as I'm here. Love a bit of rewiring me, and I get bored when I'm asleep. I can't be doing all that with all that sleeping. There's too many planets. What if you sleep and you miss a whole planet? Nightmare, eh? Who are you? Just a friend who wants to help. We're doing an escape, right? I'm top at escaping. I require no assistance, said Companion. Strategic Oversight Junction. Please run a diagnostic on the tactical monitor. There seems to be some kind of interference. Companion waited, but there was no response. Strategic Oversight Junction. Please run a diagnostic on the tactical... Can't we at least discuss this? Asked the Strategic Oversight Junction, with a new tone in the digital overlay that can only be described as cross. I mean, why has it always got to be what you say? What if anyone else has an opinion? Did you ever think about that? Oh dear, said the voice. My influence, I'm afraid. You see, I do like a flat management structure. Always run one myself, from top to bottom. Obviously, I have to be on top. No offense to anyone else, it's just a thing. Are you interfering with my systems? Tell you what, I'll just switch them off, shall I? Then we can get on with escaping. There was a soft clicking as a Companion's internal systems started shutting down. Who are you? He demanded. Shouldn't we be getting on with it, the escaping? Time to start sneaking downstairs, I think. Who are you and what are you doing in my head? Well, who are you and what are you doing in this place? Companion was about to refuse to answer the question when, to his surprise, he found himself answering the question. I am Companion, a Deathborg 400, warrior class. I was forged in the weapons groves of the Villain Guard, and I am on a surveillance mission on 21st century Earth. In a children's home. The details of my assignment are forbidden knowledge. Well, I better not ask you about it in case you start telling me everything for no particular reason. I am not so compliant, snarled Companion, but he couldn't help noticing that he had left the room and was now sneaking downstairs, just as the voice had wanted him to. Deathborg 400, she was saying. Did they have 399 before you that didn't work out? It's not a reassuring number, is it? Who are you? He asked. Oh, Companion, you know who I am. You've known all along. Tell me. I'm the doctor. Companion came to a halt 4 steps from the foot of the stairs. Had he been programmed for any kind of shock, he would have been experiencing it now. The doctor. Ooh, look at your memory banks lighting up. Heard of me, then? Heard of her. The Kafaragatri, replied Companion. The oncoming storm, the bringer of darkness, the imp of the Pandorica, the final victor of the Time War. A few of my hits. I'm glad you've been paying attention. You are known to many as the greatest warrior in the universe. I'm not a warrior, but have it your way. How can you be in my mind? What if I were to tell you I'm talking to you through an earpiece? Companion rapidly processed this intelligence. How could my defenses be breached and an earpiece applied? Wrong question. How could an earpiece rewire my internal logic relays? Still the wrong question. Companion reached up to locate the earpiece, but don't touch it, snapped the doctor. Touch the earpiece and this is over. I will not help you. I do not take orders, thundered Companion, though he couldn't help noticing he'd lowered his hand. Why would a Deathborg 400 need your help? He protested in a slightly higher register than he really intended. Because you want to get out of here, replied the doctor, which is fine by me because I don't want a Deathborg 400 wander around a children's home. The front door is 20 feet in front of you. Shall we get on? Shall we get going? First, I must destroy this installation and all humans within it. It's not an installation, it's a children's home. First, I must destroy this children's home and all the humans within it. Well, that seems a bit mean to me, but okay. Better go to the kitchen, yeah? Why the kitchen? It's where they keep all the Bernie stuff. You know where the kitchen is, don't you, Companion? Of course. Companion descended the rest of the stairs and headed through the shadowed, silent corridors to the kitchen. Why are you so afraid of humans? Asked the doctor. I do not fear them. I despise them. Oh, come on. I'm sitting in your ear. I can see your whole brain. Of course you fear them. I hate all humanity. Yeah, but that's the point, isn't it? You hate them. Hate is just fear out loud. I know nothing of fear, said Companion as he entered the deserted kitchen. Well, I know everything. I'd have to, me. What with the Daleks, the Cybermen, the Weeping Angels. These creatures are known to me. Of course they are. Everyone's scared of them. And the Suntarans and the Slytherin. And, of course, the Umpty. Companion scanned his databanks twice. The Umpty? Oh, they're the worst. Nothing scares me like the Umpty. They are unknown to me. Oh, but if you know about me, you know about the Umpty. But never mind that now. We're in the kitchen. What are we actually going to do? Companion stood in the middle of the large, dark kitchen and found himself reluctant to do anything at all. Finally, he said, This house must burn. Oh, do you think so? Is that a bit much? This house must burn, he insisted louder this time. All the people were burned too. That's a bit unfair. There are lots of kids here, you know. I care nothing for humanity. This house will burn. But the thing is, you don't really want to do that, do you, companion? Companion scanned his function drives. It was true. He was detecting, what was that? Reluctance? Had this strange, prattling woman, who was also the most dangerous warrior in the universe, interfered with his base programming? Do you want to know why you're reluctant, companion? I'm not reluctant, he lied. Strategy, that's all. Proper military strategy. I mean, you're Deathborg 400 on an undercover mission on planet Earth. Burning this house down will only draw attention to you. Companion considered. Correct, he declared. So, here's the compromise. Instead of burning the house down, why don't we turn the heating up really high? The heating? Yeah, that'll show 'em. They'll be sweating all night, the human fools. Oh, those sheets will be dripping. But I require vengeance, protested the companion. Vengeance isn't turning the heating up. But he couldn't help noticing he'd already twisted the heating control dial right up to the maximum. Well done, companion. They'll know better than to mess with you in the future. Now let's get out of here and leave these puny humans get uncomfortably hot. No, sighed companion. Oh, come on. This escape is taking forever. I mean, I like to draw them out a bit, but this is ridiculous. First, I must destroy the human known as Dr. Petrie. Oh, okay, if we must. Let's pop along and destroy Dr. Petrie, then. Where would we find him this time of night? As usual, Dr. Petrie had been working late in his office, and the notifications are interfering one more time. The other way. There. As usual, Dr. Petrie had been working late in his office. When Companion slipped silently through the door, maximum stealth mode, he saw Petrie sprawled in his chair with his head hanging over the back. He was snoring so heavily it almost seemed to rattle the teacup on his desk. Under the teacup, Companion noticed a scatter of papers, mostly with photographs pinned to them. Photographs were all of David, Companion's hologram disguise. Well then, what shall we do with him? Asked the doctor. Melt him? Miniaturize him? Random phase his atomic structure? I really don't know how to do that last one, but it sounds cool. Again, Companion found himself reluctant to act. What was wrong with him? He hated Dr. Petrie more than any other living human. He hated Dr. Petrie more than any other living thing, and he hated quite a lot of living things. Why do you hate him, Companion? Companion hesitated. He humiliated me. Oh, I don't think he meant to. He's trying to help. Remember, he thinks you're a little boy called David with a dissociative personality disorder, not a Deathborg 400 from the Weapon Groves or Villain Guard. David is a fiction. Oh yeah, of course he is. I know that, but you see, you put so much detail into the disguise, abandoned by his parents, all those people being so cruel to him. I don't think Dr. Petrie was humiliating. I think he was trying to help. He just didn't know you were Deathborg. You must get that a lot. No matter, I will not be pitied. I will have my vengeance. He will be destroyed. Fair enough. Your call. You'll go on then. Melt away. But once again, Companion found himself strangely reluctant to act, and Dr. Petrie just kept on snoring louder and louder. You know what the problem is, the doctor, at last? It's strategy again. If you destroy Dr. Petrie, it will draw attention to you. You can't blow your cover like that. So what we need is another clever compromise. What do you suggest? Well, instead of boring all destroying him, why do we do the one thing humans really can't stand? Why don't you go with me on this? Draw a mustache on him. Drawing a mustache is not proper vengeance, said Deathborg 400 as he reached for the marker pen. At last the front door stood in front of him, unguarded, noted Companion, with grim satisfaction. Freedom was now only inches away. What are you waiting for? Said the doctor in his ear. Companion reached for the door handle, hesitated. Don't worry, it's quiet out there. No Cybermen or Daleks, not even a trace of an Umpty. Companion steeled himself and opened the door. The cold air filled his lungs, the wind rushed in the trees, and distantly there was a sound of traffic. The sky was packed with clouds, but the moon peeked through. Lungs? Said the doctor. What do you mean, lungs? Companion took another breath. So cold. He found himself shivering. How can you have lungs if you're Deathborg 400? Deathborgs don't have lungs. A cat was slinking along the wall. It glanced at Companion and flicked out of sight. The traffic sighed, and a train rattled, and the wind stirred in his hair. The doctor's voice was gentler now. Close the door, David. You'll catch your death. No, roared the mind of Companion. No, this shall not be. He strode out into the night. The concrete was freezing on his bare feet, and the wind tugged at his pajamas. He stumbled to a halt and found himself rooted to the spot. He wasn't programmed for terror, but somehow he was feeling it now. Come on, David, said the doctor. You understand now, don't you? I know you do. Cease your words of lies, cried Companion. If you're tired of my words, David, why don't you take out the earpiece? David reached for his ear. Then he tried the other ear. There is no earpiece. More to the point, there are ears. Why would a Deathborg have ears, David? A Deathborg with ears and lungs? What kind of cyborgs are that? But I hear your voice. I hear your voice. I'm not in your ear, David. I'm in your head. And you're not a deathborg. You're a little boy called David Carpanion, and it's way past your bedtime. This is not true. You are using your Time Lord powers to disable and corrupt my data systems. No, I'm not. And I couldn't ever wanted to. You know why I couldn't, David? The Doctor is known to have telepathic skills beyond that of ordinary mortals. Who told you that? How do you know so much about me? Where did you learn it all from? Companion broke off as the terrible truth unfolded in his mind. It couldn't be true. It simply couldn't. And yet, as he stood there in the cold and the dark, he saw that it was as true as anything ever could be. He took another breath in the freezing air and said the words out loud. I watched you on television. Yeah, great show, isn't it? Doctor Who. That's the one. That's me. But I'm not allowed to call myself that on screen. I don't know why, but it's a brilliant name. You're not real. Well, not in the limited sense of real now, but I kept you straight tonight, didn't I? I'm real enough for that. You're a character on a TV show. Yeah, that's right, but I am. But really, I like to direct. Stop that again. You're a character in a TV show. Yeah, that's right, I am. But really, I'd like to direct. David stood in silence. He barely felt the cold now. Do you like my music, by the way? Always scares me. Umpty ump, umpty ump, umpty ump, umpty ump. I don't understand. Well, it's a scary noise, isn't it? I always get wound up when I know I'm about to hear it. That's why I start shouting towards the end of the episodes. But how can you be in my head? I'll go where the monsters are, where there are monsters to fight. We've been fighting monsters tonight, you and me. You see, that's the story of the music I always think. The umpty umps, that's the noise of the monsters. But then it goes, woo! I think the woohoo is me riding to the rescue. You can't rescue anyone, you're just a story. We're all stories in the end. But you know what a good story is, David? It's an idea. And you know what an idea is? It's a thought so big and so clever it can outlive you. It can fly out of your head and into other people's. Like I'm in your head right now, keeping you right, never cruel, never cowardly, always the Doctor. David sighed. He was starting to feel the cold again. He looked back at the house, which suddenly looked so warm. It won't be easy, said the Doctor. None of it will be easy ever, but I'll always be there. David walked back into the house, went upstairs and got into bed. A few hours later, David woke up and stared at the ceiling for a while, thinking about things. I get very scared sometimes, he said. Woo-hoo, said the Doctor. There we go. That's the terror of the Umpty-Umps. I'm Stephen Moffat. Yeah, that's something. Say what you want. The man's a damn good writer, okay? Can't get into it a bit. So, get a little tea there. Now, I think there's a few purposes behind the story. One, Moffat was showing that you can write for this Doctor. And he's also demonstrating to Stephen Moffat, this is how you write for this Doctor. But if there's any truth to rumors that he's coming back, it's kind of like, the BBC. So, yeah, I can still do this. And I better still do this because you were in trouble. We all know it. You're not fooling anybody. So, yeah. And besides, it's new, Moffat material for Doctor Who. So, yeah, but anybody thought that he's, bending the knees up his kick? No, because he really, again, he's still writing the Doctor as a fictional character in this case, So, yeah. That's a story time, kids. Have fun. Now, personal update, if you followed this far. The money is dwindling, folks, so we're going to be, having to come to a bit of a crisis point in about a week. If something doesn't bust loose here, finally get some movement on the oil well, royalties, but that'll take a month. I don't know why. Don't really care as long as it happens. Yeah, it's something. I don't know. For some reasons, you can't get to the paperwork in a month. I don't know what about that. She should have it on hand, but. And I know the mail trucks between here and Jefferson are not run once every month. So, but yeah, whatever. If the banks are closed or whatever, so doesn't seem to purpose, for her to be hoarding because he's not getting the checks. She better not be. I've got handwritten instructions from my mother saying I'm to get the money. So, anyway. So, unless something busts loose here pretty quick, either, with a voucher from the VA or somebody locally, offering up their home for a while, at least so he can stop spending money every damn, week or so for, thing. Even just temporary basis, just, someplace to crash while we get set up here. We may be taking up somebody's offer down in Arizona for a while, but I'm hoping to avoid that. That is ultimate last resort situation. So, yeah, because, we fought like hell to get back up here. And I might be doing a live stream later, so hopefully, generate a little fundage that way. And in the meantime, PayPal, Patreon down below, especially PayPal as far as short term, because instant influx of funding. Patreon, because I'm down to one patron. God bless whoever he is. I don't want to identify him. I don't want to be, but I got a $1 level, guys. Okay. There's no real excuse not to jump in and just throw a buck a month, and to get enough of you together, and suddenly this becomes more manageable. And for some reason, this channel is now eligible for memberships, so I'm still trying to work out the details on that and figure out what kind of perks I can put in there, and work up the special emojis, or whatever. So that's going to be coming to the offering pretty soon, for whatever good that is. But I've already got some levels picked out, and I got to figure out what kind of perks to go with them. So, in the meantime, like I said, PayPal, Patreon down below, and we'll catch you later.